Hello guys and welcome to my review of Powers. It's Kyle again. As usual for these reviews, I usually end up doing them solo for some reason. But I just watched the first episode of Powers and I liked it most part. It is a pilot, so I assume it's probably gonna be better. Even though it was good. So I guess let's just get into it. I'll talk about the story and stuff a little bit. So it's produced by Brian Michael Bendis. He's a comic book writer. He's written a ton of stuff. Some good, some okay, some bad. But he writes a lot of stuff, so you've probably heard of his name if you're watching this. But it's also based on the comic of the same name by Brian Michael Bendis, which I have not read, so I can't really compare it to that. So I can't really talk much there. But the story is like, I assume it's a parallel universe. Like they just assume that because it's not like it's in the future. I actually like that it's like a different universe, I guess you could call it, because they talk about in the 90s how there was powers, people, and like superpowers. That's what they call them in the show. People with superpowers and abilities are called powers. So a power, singular, whatever. But it's really cool. They talk about how the powers were in the 90s and then now and the progression. And the show really feels like this is what it would actually be like in the real world if there was superpowers. So that's pretty cool. It also has a very unique feel, especially like in the costumes. They're actually like they look very retro. There's even a character named Retro Girl. Like the names, it's very like colorful and it's got a very weird, like not weird but different look, which I actually really liked. It was very appealing. Next on, I'll talk about the characters, I guess, because most TV shows are all about characters, and this show seems like it could be. Even though this episode was like, I felt like they tried to put too much information into one episode, but I guess they kind of needed to if they wanted you to bring that into, if they wanted to bring the audience into that world that quickly, because it's the first episode. You got to get the audience in understanding the world. So hopefully the rest of the season won't be like that. But that's really my major gripe on it. Not really that big of a deal, but my other flaw with it is, even though I like Charlton Copley, I think he's a good actor. His voice in this is so like it sounds very over the top sometimes. Like it just doesn't suit him. It's very like deep. It almost sounds like Christian Bale's Batman at some points. I'm not even gonna try and impersonate it because it'll turn out horrible. But anyways, his character named Walker, he used to have a power, and he was called Diamond. He could fly, and we learned a lot about his past, which is very interesting. I like that. He is a good character though, and he lost his powers, and now he's a cop that hunts down people who do bad things with their powers. So that's interesting. We get a lot of cool action sequences with that, especially in the beginning and in like the police station, I guess. If you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But my favorite character is probably Dina, his new partner. She's like, I don't know, I just like her personality. She's interesting. So I guess the antagonist of the story would have to be Johnny Royale. He's basically a bad guy. Something to do with drugs. I didn't quite get it. And he had something to do with the death of a guy, that a girl, she had to do with the death, and Walker needs to investigate that, so it's all kind of connected. And Johnny Royale used to know Walker before Johnny Royale became a bad guy, and his power is to teleport, and you get some really cool shots with that. Some really interesting thing he does with the guy's head. You'll know it when you see it. My last flaw with it is sometimes the CGI is kind of obvious, just the way when like the characters fly around. Just certain of them, it does look like a CGI doll being thrown around in the sky, but it looks okay. It is a pilot, and it is a TV show, so I assume they don't have that big of a budget. Probably a fair amount, but it was pretty good. The ending of it was a lot more interesting than I thought it would be, and it does make me want to watch the next episode, and I am excited to watch the rest of the series. I hope if it would stay at this type of episode, like this quality, I'd be fine with it. I would like it. I'd watch it all. I hope it gets a little better, just because it would be really cool if it was, because I hope it would fix some of the things, not be so crammed, and the CGI maybe gets a little better. I assume it would if it got a second season, maybe a bigger budget too. So I'm going to have to go with a rating of, I can't give it quite an 8 out of 10. So I'm going to give it a 7.9. I know that's pretty particular, but I think I really liked it. It was, there's some flaws, but, you know, I recommend you go watch it. You might think it's different. You might like it a little more. I've seen a lot of people like it a lot more than I did. I've seen some people not really like it. But it's pretty good. If you have like anything to do with comics, or even like a cop show, or anything to do with science fiction, it's pretty good, so I recommend you watch it. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought of the first episode down below. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe on this video if you want to, and thanks. Bye.